Castlevania on the Game Boy Color. It's one of the biggest missed opportunities the Konami ever had. I mean, technically in PAL territories, Castlevania the Adventure and Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge were re-released in special colorized collections, but no, those do not count. I'm talking about a real flesh and blood sequel that could have taken advantage of the Nintendo Entertainment System adjacent visuals and sound. The opportunity to create something new for a brand new exclusive handheld. So, today's video is a bit of a what-if situation. What if Konami released a Castlevania game for the Game Boy Color? But much like the alternate universes and multiverse string theory of what-if comics, the results aren't always so flattering. That introduction brings us to today's episode of What Is It?, where we take a look at the demo for the recently unveiled Game Boy Color fan game, DawnRazor. Man, that name goes so hard. And honestly, the rest of the experience in the demo follows suit. What we have here is a classic tale of revenge that harkens to modern day vibes like Val Ferris, or maybe even throwbacks to Heavy Metal Magazine merged with Castlevania's traditional Classicvania style gameplay. The story goes like this. DawnRazor was a man who, with his brothers, would fight against the tyranny of the Countess, only for him to be betrayed by his siblings and stabbed with a sword which had a parasite on it. The parasite infected him, resurrecting him into a killing machine we call DawnRazor. The parasite also talks to DawnRazor in a relationship similar to the Hand of D in Vampire Hunter D. He's got a bit of a mocking tone, and it's a really cool dynamic to see. The story is a bit clunky initially, but once the first prologue stage is over, we get the full scoop and scope of what will follow. However, that's where most of the praise ends, as clunky is indeed the best description of this demo. DawnRazor moves akin to molasses, and his attack with his whip feels stilted and stuttered. Attacking enemies doesn't flow nearly as well as a Castlevania game, so he'll have to pause, then attack, then start moving again. Ducking takes absolutely forever, and I can't tell you how many times I got killed by the bats in this game. Oh lord, the bats are infuriating. You can't just directly whip them in the air either, because when you jump and attack, something happens to DawnRazor to pull him down and force him to attack while on the ground. It's just not a good time. Visually, the graphics are okay. A mix of mud browns and neon purples for the mountains, as well as toxic greens during the demo's pre-loop menu. I like the idea of having to upgrade our hero by finding different key items, but I didn't get to explore this due to the demo ending. There's one upgrade that was given to DawnRazor, which allowed for healing when pressing select. There's 4 lives in the game before you get a game over. It's pretty basic stuff. Now it's time to talk about music. It's alright, but not up to snuff with the usual Castlevania flair. I feel like they tried to carve out an identity on their own for sound, but you ultimately wish you could just hear some Baroque-inspired rock or dance tunes instead of these tracks. They sound like the usual early 2000s, late 90s inspired Game Boy Color soundtracks from a Western developer. Now that's not to say Western devs didn't have some bangers, but chances are, if you played a game on the Game Boy Color, the music had a specific flavor that kind of felt lackluster instead of smooth. It's like drinking a really harsh root beer. Sure, it goes down and tastes like root beer, but it hurts going down. Ultimately, this game needs way more time in the oven to fix things, but I'm genuinely intrigued to see where DawnRazor goes from here. If you're interested in trying it out for yourself, check out the demo down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon on the next video.